Hey everybody, Lorelia here doing a video on the topic of $60 per hour to live. What do I mean by that? Um, Before I get started, I just want to let you know, if you're new to my channel, what do I discuss here? I talk about finances, freedom, funding, credit. I have over 300 or more videos on the topic of credit, but today I'm not coming to you with a topic on credit. I'm going to talk to you about an article that I read actually last week, and I had been meaning to do a video, but I didn't get a chance to do it. But according to this article, in the city of San Francisco, they had listed a whole bunch of cities in the U.S., mostly on the West Coast, but San Francisco being the city that, in order to afford a two-bedroom apartment, you need to make a minimum of $60 per hour. Because in San Francisco, they say that the low six figures is low income. So you're pretty much straddling poverty. And so I begin to think that there's a lot of things that are going on right now, especially in regards to what a lot of the Democratic presidential hopefuls talked about, um, getting rid of student loan debt, and then you have some of them who've talked about universal basic income, and clearly people are still being sold a bag of goods that the government is going to take care of them, that we're going to do away with your student loans, we're going to do away with you struggling, so we're going to give you a little bit more money. But see, the part that the government does not control is capitalism. Um, and and what do I mean by that? In terms of, you have the ability to really break free from despair. Um, because there are not too many places that you can live comfortably in the U.S. I know the article talked about San Francisco, but I even think about places on the East Coast. Now, back in 2010, I remember my daughter was small. That was probably the last time I actually, no. It was actually before then. My son was small, because this had to be about 2008, because I remember how my hair was looking and everything. So this was about 2008. And I remember going to Goldman Sachs. Now, if you're from New York, you know that Goldman Sachs is right down near the South Street Seaport, down on Water Street. It was in the summer. It was a nice day. People were walking. Something about New York City in the summer, especially down at the seaport, is really, lovely. You got the tourists walking around. You got the nice sightseeing. You got the shops, the stores, or what have you. And so I had no interest in a job, but the recruiters always had my resume from previous work and contractual work that I did. But anyway, in 2008, I didn't take the position. Why? Because it was too time consuming. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, they were offering at that time to me, in the department that I was in some type of accounting tax department. It was $95 per hour. And that was in 2008. And that didn't include double time and a half, because there were a lot of hours. And of course, they provided you with car service, so you didn't have to worry about taking a train or public transportation home. And so one would think that, wow, for $95 an hour, sign me up. But I say that to say, that was in 2008. which is 11 years ago, I was being offered that. I did a previous video when I talked about that, and I think I mentioned it, or I can't remember, maybe I was talking to somebody, where when I first got out of college in 97, first job I had, Deloitte and Touche, right over there at the World Financial Center, my starting salary was 38. There are people now in 2019 who their starting salary is 38,000, or let me say this, they are taking care of families with less than 30 something thousand. I was getting 30 something thousand 20 plus years ago with no kids, living at home with mom. What's my point in all that is that there are some things that the government cannot control. And we are now in the day and time where I've seen someone shared, I guess it was a quote from Forbes, at least that's what they said, that the side hustle is the new job security. We're in the freelance age. Whether you want to take a side job, a side hustle or not, that's the age we're in now. I know I see random people dropping off Amazon packages to me or to my neighbors, and I say to myself, oh wow, what is that about? Then come to find out, I found out they have a program called Amazon Flex, and it's pretty much is like the Uber of packages. Anyone, as long as they're in your, because I went on the website, I wanted to check it out, and so anyone who is in a particular market within the US, and as long as you have a smartphone, because my understanding is your smartphone is going to be your scanner where you're scanning the packages and you're dropping them off, anybody has the ability to get started and partner with Amazon. And, once again, it's like Uber and Lyft, you make your own hours, you do it when it's convenient for you. That is the future that we're moving into. So I know many people, especially the billionaires and the millionaires, feel that capitalism is under attack. I'm not here to make a little political stand on my beliefs or what your beliefs are. Many people feel like Bernie Sanders is too far to the left. It's similar to socialism. But my thing is this. There has been some times in my life where they have not always been great. But the one thing that I have always hated when I was faced with it is knowing that someone has the ability to provide a roof over my head, and I never lived in public housing, so that's not the case. But just the idea of knowing that is what I fear. That's why I go hard in doing what I need to do for myself, because I don't never want someone to tell me where I need to live, how I need to live, what type of food I should buy, and where I should work. And I find that when people, because two objects cannot occupy the same space. You cannot want to take part in whether you call it social welfare, social help, or what have you. If you're one of those people that, you're looking for, and I get it, student loan crisis is out of hand. But one thing I've noticed, that whenever the government is involved in something, it ain't a good look. It ain't a good look. And so if a side hustle is the new job security, gone are the days where you had the lifestyle like your parents or your grandparents, whereas they may have had a job, they've worked at some of the big companies or big factories, they put their time in, they got their pension, or they worked for the federal government, they worked for the state government, they put their time in. Those days are gone. They're gone. And if anyone is really believing the governmental rhetoric that is going on, then why is San Francisco one of the most expensive places in the country? Why hasn't the government went in and said, we're stabilizing all rents? No one has the ability to earn more money. We're stabilizing all rents. We want all rents to be $500, and that's it. Why haven't the government did that? Because we still live in a country where you have the ability to take part in capitalism and earn more than $60 an hour. You have that. Because unfortunately, before we can overhaul the student loan crisis, we gotta overhaul the educational system. And as long as we still have people who believe go to school, get a job, go to school, then go to college, then possibly get some more college and get in debt, and then work to get out of debt. As long as we still have that rhetoric that is being ingrained in us for 13 years, kindergarten to 12th grade, not including college, then that's why you'll have people who are saying, well, shoot, minimum wage is $60 an hour, sign me up. Because there's a lot of people who like, where they paying $60 an hour at? Because a lot of them are making 15 or 20. And this is not to make a mockery of those who are, but it's to tell you that the reason why a person is struggling as opposed to another person is based on access to some information. Listened to a video with Grant Cardone, and it was on Vlad TV, and it was Vlad, and he said the problem is that you got so much information out there, because now people can't say it's an information thing. Like, can't nobody try to fall, well, I don't know, we were left from the table, no one shared this with you. It's too much. It's too many books. It's too much. But what happens is that you have all this different contradicting information, and individuals really don't know who and what to listen to. See, I never can tell no one what's the right information to listen to. I knew what was right for me. And the reason why I knew what was the right information for myself is because I learned that there are groups of people in this country who do not wake up every day and say, in order for me to earn a paycheck, I have to go to work. The reason why I figured that out is because many moons ago, in the early 2000s, I used to work for a CPA firm on West 57th Street in New York, between 5th and 6th Avenue, really high-end firm. And every Friday in the summer, the partners never came in. They went out to the Hamptons, and they did whatever they did, and all us worker bees had to show up. And right then and there, I said, you know what? Somebody is getting information that some of us aren't getting. And I never forget one of the partners there had shared with us his journey of him creating business. And if you're in the accounting industry, there's a such thing as some of the top firms. So he graduated from college many moons ago, like sometime in the late 60s, early 70s. Spent about 2 or 3 years there, got some experience, and started his firm. why do I say that? Is that someone had instilled in him that entrepreneurship, or you being able to create your own check, is the best thing to do. And so with seeing that, at the same time that was when I was newly introduced. I had already read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, but probably was reading the other books of his, The Cash Flow Quadrant. And as I begin to further my study, because learning is a lifelong commitment, I said, wait, something ain't right here. Because assets is what brings money into your bank account. So the common theme that I'm noticing with all these individuals, whether it's the CPA who owns a tax firm, or whether it's the person who's in real estate, or whether it's the person who has a online business, the common theme is they all have an asset, which is a business that's generating income. Not relying on a job to create income. And that, my friend, is what the education teaches you. You're ingrained for 13 years to be a worker bee, and you probably, like myself, I remember wanting to work so bad. And I remember wanting to work so bad in high school. My mother wouldn't let me work because I always looked at, because everyone around me, those who had money, they had a job. No one around me had an asset they physically had to go to a job. And so I remember in high school really, really wanting to get a job because I just wanted to create my own, my own paycheck. And, and I remember being so excited when the senior year of high school came and I got my first job at McDonald's, and like, wow, I'm creating a paycheck. I'm creating my own money. But what happens is that begins to put me on the track which is the mindset of a lot of other people, is that the only way to earn an income is you have to have a job. Remember, that was all I was around. I wasn't around nobody who owned a business. Nobody in my family owned a business. Nobody in my family owned real estate. I mean, besides owning a home, that was it. I mean, it was like, owning multiple, I think it was one who was a distant family member of mine, and he built his wealth in New York City, but he moved down to North Carolina, and they had said he was involved in real estate, but no one really knew how he made his money. That was wishful thinking. But in terms of my immediate circle, most of those people, they had jobs. But then as I got older, saying that in order for you to get income, you needed a job. I went to college and still thinking that, didn't know that, they're not working to get money. Now, do they do work in their business? Of course. But are they waking up every day saying, I have to work from Monday to Friday, whatever your work schedule is, and if I don't wake up, I don't earn any money? They're not doing that. So I was so glad that I continued searching and figure that out. And that's why people get mad at me when I say that your ability to stay out of debt is relative to your income. Because most of the people who watch me on YouTube, the only source of income that they have is a job, which is nothing wrong with that. But if you take that job away, you're going to be back into debt. And that's why so many people will come to me and say, I make X amount of dollars, but I have this much in debt. Like, there's no, once again, there's no type of debt. There's no type of financial expert who can tell to put $150 where $1,500 is supposed to go. It's just, there is nothing that, the only thing, not the only thing, but what you have to do is have the ability to build something or create something that can create income for you. Will it be overnight? No, nothing is overnight. Even if you in real estate, no. You listen to any of your gurus on YouTube, even someone like Grant Cardone. He said first piece of real estate he bought was money. So eliminate the whole, you know, I got to do something, but if it doesn't give me immediate gratification, then I'm out. Then you're going to succumb to what so many people in the U.S. are succumbing to, which is being told that you have to live at a certain place, for a certain period of time, because you only make X amount of dollars. That's the life I want. That's not what I'm interested in. I don't want that life, you know. So that's why, you know, I always say that, and this is not to be funny, but see, the reason why I don't ever believe in scams or believing I'm going to be scammed is because I'm a lifelong learner. See, I'm always learning or interested in learning something more, you know. But if you're that person who's allergic to learning, um, don't want to learn a new skill, don't want to do anything new, and just want to complain, scour around the internet looking for the magic pill, because rest assured everything that you need and you want is really all with you. It's just a matter of you making a decision. What happens is that you're going to find a whole bunch of conflicting information. I find it very interesting. People will, pay attention for me, and then during the consultation they'll start with, well, I was watching something, I have to stop them. Don't base your consultation on what you heard on YouTube, and then now you want me to kind of decipher what it is that you've learned or trying to make sense of. Because I tell people, I'm not going around on YouTube question, and I'm here to answer it, and I'm going to answer it in the way that I know what I can and how I can make a solution to it. But I'm never going to try to decipher what else told some and then try to convince them that why that advice is right. That's a waste of time, you know. That's a waste of time. My thing is this: if there's certain information you resonate with, by all means go with it. But in terms of you really want to change your lifestyle, you want to learn something new, we're already in July. Half of the year done. It made resolutions on whatever the endeavor it could be. Earn more money, get out of debt, raise your credit score. And it's July and you haven't did either. You may not need to do a check on your situation. One thing I want to say is I've been doing a series of webinars, and I had the video, but a lot of people didn't know where to gain access to those webinars, because I don't want to mix messages. I really only want to give information to people who really want it. So I'm doing one tonight, primarily going to be on learning a new skill set which can create income for yourself. And like I said, learning, not know, there you go. Yeah, see, there's one Amazon, people. See, there you go. Regular white van, girl got on regular, clothes, and she's doing that, and she's got New York plates. Like they picked up some racks in Jersey. So there you go. So that's what I mean. We're in a gig economy. So no, the webinar I'm doing is not about getting started with Amazon and Amazon Flex. It's not about that. I was just making a comparison because we're in a gig economy. There she go. Yep, regular clothes. Um, but if you want to learn a new skill set, I'm sharing with people that they can plug into systems that are already created. They're online systems and learn a new skill set that pay them income. So my story, and I am sticking to it. If you want to learn more, go to the link be below this video. Go to neweconomyonline.com. That's it, is a new URL. And I will talk to you in the next video. Okay, bye bye. Don't forget webinars tonight. Like I said, tonight, 8 o'clock. Be there. I'm going to be sharing a lot of good information that can be life changing. And I know I was going to cut off, but I just wanted to say, if there's three types, there's the person who takes action, and then there's the person who sits around and looks and waits, and then it's the person who doesn't know what's going on. Which one are you? Because in the next coming months, years, change be the one who doesn't know what's going on. You're the one who's taking action. So once again, this is L'Oreal. I talk